When you're standing in the backyard and thinking about adding a little extra space, the question that usually pops up is, do I want something that actually works, that won't become a maintenance nightmare, and that justifies the money I'm putting down? It's easy to get caught up in glossy brochures that promise a year-round sunroom with a million features, but what you really need is a structure that blends into your home, stays clear of the elements, and lets you actually use the space day after day without a constant list of how-to-fixes. That hesitation is real, especially when you're weighing a DIY Linto solarium against hiring a contractor or buying a prefabricated enclosure that might not fit your house's style. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent a few weeks looking into the Palram Canopia sunroom, reading through the product specs, watching a handful of unboxing videos, and comparing the design to other polycarbonate Linto options on the market. What I found is that this 8 by 12 foot white canopy is positioned as a plug-and-play addition for homeowners who want a quick, weatherproof extension without a lot of heavy lifting. It's not a luxury greenhouse with climate control, but it does promise year-round protection, a side door for easy access, and a maintenance-free promise that sounds almost too good to be true. Let's start with the kind of person who will actually benefit from the canopy. If you're a DIY enthusiast who enjoys a weekend project, have a fairly level wall or fence where the Linto can sit, and you need a covered space for things like a potting bench, a small outdoor office, or simply a place to enjoy a coffee when it rains, this is a solid contender. The kit comes with step-by-step instructions that assume a basic level of carpentry, no professional framing required, just a few tools, a drill, and a bit of patience. The polycarbonate panels are engineered to be high impact, which means they won't shatter if a stray branch hits them, and they have UV-blocking properties that keep the interior from turning into a greenhouse after a summer's worth of sun. For families that want a safe, clear enclosure for kids to play under while the weather turns, those panels are a genuine plus. On the flip side, if you live in an area with heavy snow loads, very high winds, or you were hoping for a fully insulated room that you could heat and use as a bedroom extension, the canopy may fall short. The polycarbonate sheets are great for rain and moderate snow, but they're not rated for the kind of roof load you'd see on a commercial greenhouse. The structure is designed to be a shade or light room, not a heavy-duty winter shelter. Also, because it's a Linto that leans against an existing wall, you need a solid, straight surface. Any irregularities in your house's exterior will require extra shimming or adjustments, which can add a few hours to the build. Now, about the practical strengths that show up once the frame is up. The first thing most owners notice is how quickly the space becomes usable. After a few hours of assembly, you can walk into the sunroom, open the wide side door, and actually feel the difference between being in the open and being under a clear roof. The hinged door is a thoughtful touch. It's wide enough for garden equipment, a stroller, or a rolling cart, and it folds back against the side panel, leaving the whole width open for ventilation when you don't need the enclosure. That flexibility matters when you're using the space for potting plants. You can open the door to let in fresh air and keep humidity in check without having to crawl around a fixed wall. Another practical win is the low-maintenance claim. The polycarbonate panels resist staining and don't need to be painted like metal frames. A quick rinse with a hose and a soft cloth keeps them clear. In the long run, that's a real money saver compared to aluminum roofs that may need occasional repainting or rust treatment. The white finish blends nicely with most home exteriors, and because the panels are translucent rather than completely clear, they diffuse sunlight nicely. No harsh glare, just a soft, even light that's perfect for reading or working on a laptop. But there are a few weaknesses you should keep in mind before you pull the trigger. First, the system relies heavily on the integrity of the anchor points. The kit includes all the necessary brackets, but the quality of those brackets isn't as robust as a professionally installed addition. If you're mounting it to a brick wall, you'll need to drill and use masonry anchors, and that step can be a bit fiddly. A weak anchor could lead to wobbling in strong winds, which isn't ideal for anything holding delicate tools or equipment. Second, the design leaves the roof open on the side opposite the wall, which means rain can run off the edge and splash onto the wall below. Most installers recommend adding a small drip edge or a gutter extension to manage runoff, but